Halloween ends. But does it really though? Let's get a poll going in the comment section. How long will it take for us to get another Halloween movie? Halloween ends again. I'm gonna say 4 years, at least 4 years. But regardless, I was not able to see this movie early. I didn't get any screenings for it, and I don't think anyone else did either. And that means one of two things. Number one, for me, either they just don't like my country, because sometimes there just isn't screenings in Canada, which, hey, what can you do? Or number two, they got a stinker on their hands. And I saw the mixed reaction on Twitter, and it was a busy week, and I'm just like, I don't know, guys. I don't necessarily really know if I want to see this movie opening weekend. I'm not sure. And I was looking forward to it, but I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know if I can handle Halloween Ends right now. But I decided, you know what? I'm gonna watch it Friday night, and a lot of people have been asking my opinion on Halloween Ends, so here's the video for you. Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Today I'm gonna give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler review for you today of Halloween Ends and tell you if it's worth a watch. So stick around to the end so you can find out my rating, and you can find out what the secret phrase is for you to leave down in the comment section so that I know that you've watched to the end of the video. And like I say in every video, guys, this is just my own personal opinion. So if you love the movie, you hate the movie, let me know your thoughts of Halloween Ends down in the comment section down below. Now let's get the intro stuff out of the way, the director, the actors, and then I'll get into my thoughts of the movie. So, we have Halloween Ends from David Gordon Green, who has directed Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Stronger, and Pineapple Express. And it stars Jamie Lee Curtis, as always. Well, asterisk, I hear that Halloween 3 has like nothing to do with Michael Myers, but we're not talking about those. Andi Matichak and Rohan Campbell. Was he named after the Rohan from Lord of the Rings? I digress. I liked Halloween from 2018. I thought it was a fun movie, and I thought Halloween Kills was okay. It was very mediocre and rather frustrating because I felt like it was bloated, it was crowded, it was excessive, and there were many times in that movie where I was just screaming at the screen because of our characters lacking all sorts of common sense. And in my own opinion, when the film's plot revolves around the stupidity of our main characters, you don't have a story there. You have a series of events that have just occurred because our characters are just dumb. Now, in this movie, Halloween Ends, that doesn't really happen. There was only one moment where I was like screaming at the screen going like, the obvious thing to do is like right in front of your face. Like, that's gonna happen in horror movies, especially slasher films, at least in my opinion. But here they don't really do that. They really tried to go for a different direction and go for a really unique idea. And that is that people need a boogeyman. People, a society, a town, a group, a tribe, they need to personify all of their fears into an individual or another group or an idea. They have to personify evil into something. And when Michael Myers is gone, how is a town that's been traumatized by all these events gonna cope with it? They need to have another bad guy. And how lack or the unwillingness to forgive and isolation, social isolation, creates and breeds evil. Now, whenever I say that, I think of like school shooters. Now, I'm not trying to condone school shooting, like I'm not stupid, but you know, you hear all those people who shot up all those schools and have done all those terrible things, and they're talking about how, you know, they didn't have any friends growing up, or they didn't have any girlfriends, or they felt socially ostracized, and you know, they felt very alone, and then through that loneliness and isolation, evil is created. So again, the film doesn't really go down that route, but the idea is there, and I like that idea of how to explore how evil is created. But the film, man, like you go down this great direction, but then you just rely on a lot of other stupid things that you've done before. So yes, this movie does bring forward a different direction and a different idea, which I thought was pretty unique, but the tone is a problem. The pacing is a problem, the dialogue and the writing is a major problem, and of course the execution of that idea is a problem. There are many problems in this movie, which sucks to say. I mean, you know, I just wanted to enjoy a Halloween Ends movie. I don't need it to be a masterpiece. I don't necessarily even need it to be a horror classic. I just want to enjoy myself, and it was hard to do that in this movie because of these problems. So let's talk about the tone. So in these movies, you have like a shocking moment before the title, right? A James Bond pre-title sequence, if you will. But in these movies, it's something horrific. It's a kill, it's a murder, it's something scary, and it gets the film going. In this film, while if this happened in real life, it would be shocking, it would be terrifying, but minus the blood, this scene could have easily been played for laughs. And when it happened, I will admit, I put my hand over my mouth and I'm like, oh my god, did that just actually happen? And then the titles roll and you hear that, you hear the theme song, and I'm like laughing. And I'm going, okay, this is the tone we're going for. We're going completely over the top, ridiculous, campy. Okay, I'm gonna fasten my seatbelt, let's go for it. But you know what? I was kind of like a All right, here we go. Because I like that over the top, like, schlockiness, right? But the film doesn't actually go down that route. Now, what's unfortunate about that is that I can just tell that the filmmakers did not want that scene to be funny or to be laughable, but it came across that way. And so the rest of the movie, following that scene, just feels very slow, boring. It takes itself way too seriously, and weirdly enough, it turns into a Nicholas Sparks romance novel. Allison, Laurie Strode's granddaughter from the first two movies, she falls in love with this boy, and this boy has had some very bad things happen to him in the past. Not his fault, but basically the town has labeled him the new psycho, and so they fall in love because their traumas bind them together. They do find solace in each other. While, sure, I like that idea, but it just becomes very melodramatic, very sappy. I feel like I was watching like the Longest Ride horror edition. And worst of all, when you have a romance on screen, you gotta buy that those two characters would fall in love. I didn't buy it for a second. They go to like one Halloween dance and then they're Sandy and Danny from Grease. Like they're just bound to be together for life, I guess. At least that's how the film portrays it. I didn't buy their chemistry at all. Another weird thing about the tone is that there's these bullies that follow him around and simply terrorize him. They meet him outside of like a Circle K or some gas station, some corner store, and they ask him to buy them some booze because they're underage. Hey man, can you do us a solid and buy us some beers, a 6-pack? And he says no. And then they decide to just terrorize him throughout the rest of the movie. But they're going to a marching band meetup. So these kids are in the marching band and they're going around town just terrorizing this guy. Yeah, right. Everyone is so mean-spirited in this movie. And I know that they're trying to go for the whole like, oh, Michael Myers has infested this town. Everyone is turning into monsters. But it makes the townspeople and the town itself very unlikable. I don't want to save this town from Michael Myers. I'm rooting for Michael Myers to kill all these people because they're just terrible. Everyone is so mean to one another and it just becomes very mean-spirited and not very fun to watch. And they spend a lot of time on this romance. My God, does it just drag. Now the writing. This is amateur film school douchebag kind of stuff. And to sum it up, there's one line that Laurie Strode says very early on in the film, and I can't believe I heard this. I'm not making this up. She's talking about how Allison needs to get out there and meet a boy, and she's going, you know what, you need to find a guy where you just want to rip off your shirt, show him your fucking tits, and say, let's go! Oh. And I can just see the writers in the writing room going, oh yeah, this is so fucking cool. We're so fucking cool. Look how my fucking script is, and it's so fucking cool. It's just the dumbest shit ever. And those interesting ideas about how the town needs to have a boogeyman and how isolation really breeds evil. It's an interesting idea, but it's not explored outside of just some empty platitudes by some characters, because they throw all of that away by the ending, and I guess minor spoiler, it just turns into the whole Michael Myers is running around a house and you're hiding from him and he's got a knife, and it's just the simple same thing we've seen all over again. So why even create these new ideas when you're gonna go in a completely new direction only to have it end up where it would normally end up anyways? You feel kind of cheated. So overall rating, I'm gonna give this movie a 2 out of 5, and I'll be honest, it's a low 2 out of 5. I'm thinking like, it's okay, I guess. Like I was honestly thinking about giving this film a 1. Again, some ideas were interesting, and the Michael Myers scenes where he does kill people, you do have some interesting and creative ways to kill people. Again, not as creative as the last one. There's definitely less Michael Myers in this one. And of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is great as always. There's a plane going outside my house, so apologies for that. But it's okay. Had some interesting ideas, but that's really about it. So those are my thoughts on Halloween Ends. Whatever you thought of the movie, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And the secret phrase is, I'm scared of My Little Pony. Let's do it. Write that down in the comment section so that I know that you've made it this far. Thank you guys so much in advance. Hit that like button. It really helps out the channel more than you know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.